Okay, so let's get back to that bullet script. And also, by the way, if you have a script, if you middle click on it, it will take you over to the script. So keep in mind, these functions are built into Game Maker, so if you click on those, it will give you, if you middle click on those, these or something, it'll give you an explanation for them. But if it's a script that you've written, it will just zip on over to there. That's really useful for being able to track down and find out what you got. So we're going to create a new item. I'm going to create sprite, edit item. I'm going to use the rectangle outline, and we're going to create a power up. I like to get kind of fancy with these. Make something that looks kind of nice. Has just a neat little design around it. Really don't have to put this much effort into it. We'll create something cooler later. Remember, we're just in the testing phase right now. So we're gonna say, by the way, when you're creating sprites, if you hold down shift, they will only go in the direction that you already started out in. That was a bad time to show. But anyway, so here's this plus sign. S, power up. We're gonna create the power up. So create object, O, power up. Assign the sprite. And then what we need to do is say collision with O player with O with other, actually. I'm gonna say weapon power plus equals 1. And then instance destroy. But what did we say about power-ups? We actually don't want power-ups to go to the player, because then they can go away when you change rooms or die. So let's just say if you interact with the player, stats.weapon power is going to increase by 1. So we need to add that. Weapon power is going to start at 0. It's going to be an integer. Okay, so let's add some to the room. Where we are, we don't seem to have, okay, so that's also going to show what our score is. Sorry, I keep bouncing around. Set up a score. Score is going to be 0. Enemies. When an enemy is destroyed, we're going to say stats.score plus equals points. And we're going to go to variable definitions and create a variable and call it points. Each of these guys will be worth 5 points, an integer. Okay? stats.score plus equal. Yeah, there we go. And then we want to see our score. We're going to go on the draw GUI layer. Some people call it draw GUI. I'm going to call it draw GUI because that means graphical user interface. Draw text. We're going to do it 8 pixels out from the top, 8 pixels out from the side. And actually, in a room, 0, 0 is the very top left corner. So 8 over and 8 down. We're going to say score plus string score. This is draw text. Going to draw some letters, whatnot. Going to be 8 pixels over from the side, 8 pixels down from the top. In quotes, we're going to say score, colon, space, end quote, plus string. And then we're going to have the score. String means that we're going to say what this score is representing, not the actual word score. So, see how this works. It's really tiny, but it's up there, and you can see that it is actually increasing every time we destroy a bad guy. And so we also want to say draw text 16. Nope. Yeah, 8 out. 16 down. Weapon power. Plus string. Weapon power. So this is going to show us what our weapon power is at. Real tight. But now it's 1, 2, 3, 4. Now nothing's changed. We haven't told it to do anything different. But our weapon is, as far as we can tell, our weapon is stronger. So what we could do is, instead of saying HP minus equals 1, we could create a variable. It says HP minus equals damage. We could start a variable. It could be called damage. And damage can equal whatever we want. It was equal to 1 earlier, but what if we made it ostats.weapon power? What if we make it equal to how powerful our weapon is? Nope. It says enemy dot up. You know what? Aha. Okay, so this is still asking. We're still within the enemy's variables with other. So we're going to bring it back and say other.damage. So this other is the enemy. This other is back to the original item that is colliding. So the bullet. And saying other.damage has some trouble. Unable to convert string. That's because I've got, doesn't need to be a string. I think it needs to be an expression. There we go. That was my bad. Okay, so right now our weapon power is 0, so it's not actually doing any damage. If we have it at 1, where is it? 2, oh my gosh. Now it's at 4, they have 4 hit points. Now that our weapon is more powerful, it's destroying everything in 1 hit. How's that, huh? But obviously, it's a problem, because it needs to be equal to 1 plus ostats.weapon power. So now we do at least 1 damage. That way we can still destroy stuff. So now it does 1 plus weapon power, which is at 3. So now we're doing 4 damage. And 5 damage. Our weapon's very powerful now. Nothing stands a chance. Alright, that's it for this lesson. We'll pick back up in the next one.